Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Oleg Giberstein on the line, and he's co-founder and COO at Coinrule. Oleg, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Adam. Great to be on.
All right, Oleg. So excited to learn more about Coinrule and really how you're helping investors and your clients. But before we get into that, maybe let's start at your background. Like, how did you get started as an entrepreneur and in business?
Sure. So I started my career in banking. I was working at Citigroup in London in the UK. Didn't really feel like it was the right place for me. I mean, it was fun, it was interesting, but didn't quite feel right. And I started looking around and I knew that I wanted to do something else, but it was fairly difficult to find it. And with a bit of experimentation, I eventually left banking, started my first company that totally failed. But in the process of that, I met my current co-founders, really went down the crypto blockchain rabbit hole. And here we are with Coinrule.
It's awesome. Love bringing on entrepreneurs, executives, and business owners really to share, how they're able to do what they do and what matters to them. So that's great. There's a lot of individuals out there right now that are, pivoting or shifting or looking for new things to do. And I just think that this whole, DeFi, this whole space is just interesting. Lots of opportunity, both from the investment side and also obviously from the, as an entrepreneur side, lots of different ideas and things that you can be a part of and or ideas that you can progress. What are you seeing? What's interesting to you right now in the marketplace?
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, the beauty is that there's such an incredible amount of innovation happening, and people are really biased by the price. So people see the price of cryptocurrencies going down, and they think, oh yeah, this is done. This is bad time now to be getting in. But the reality is that people keep building. Something I'm personally extremely excited about are some of those scaling solutions for Ethereum, the so-called layer 2s that are coming out on the market. So one of the problems we've really faced over the last years is that using Ethereum is extremely expensive and really only possible for a small number of people because the network is so congested because so many people are using it. But layer 2 solutions, I'm not going to go into the technical details, but they provide really simple ways to scale the network. And from an investment point of view, these layer 2s are going to have probably also their own tokens over the next, year or so. So even if today you already start experimenting on them, there's a good chance you might get an airdrop, you might get tokens just given for just trying out applications on it. And from a both entrepreneurial point of view as well as investment point of view, I think there's a huge potential. Some of these layer 2s I'm most interested in are platforms like Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, and also Starkware.
How do you think DeFi can create or maybe enable a fairer financial system than maybe what we currently have?
So I'll give you an example. In today's financial system, any kind of financial experimentation happens in an extremely tightly controlled environment. You have some physics PhD at a quant hedge fund working out of New York. In DeFi, you can literally have a kid in, Kenya or the Philippines hacking together something in their basement and release it. And no one cares. It's permissionless. It's open. It's the best ideas and the best products that win. Just the amount of experimentation and progress that will come out of this is unimaginable. It's a complete game changer for the way how finance will be operating in the next 50 years.
So let's switch pace a little bit here. I want to know more about Coinrule. So how did you come up with the idea for this company?
Yeah, sure. So Coinrule was an idea actually of my co-founder Gabriele. He was he had come across a strategy. He met this guy at the party, and this guy had like a quant strategy that just every day was buying the top performer of the day and selling the top performer of the previous day. And he was like, oh yeah, I want to run the same strategy. And he sat down at home and he realized, hang on, there just isn't an easy way to do that. Like, it's really, really hard. You have to actually know programming. And then he started kind of coming up with the first designs and possible solutions. And we spoke about that. And I had exactly the same problem. You have a strategy in mind and there just isn't an easy way to automate it. And given existing solutions, always try to like fix you into like their own framework. They don't really give you the liberty to define your own strategies. And that's when we started Coinrule.
That's great. So tell us a little bit more about where the company is at today. Like, tell us a little bit more about what you do on a day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've gone through extremely fast growth over the past year. I mean, obviously the market has been extremely strong. We went through Y Combinator, the accelerator program that birthed, Coinbase and Reddit and Airbnb and so many other companies. So we've been growing pretty much 20x over the last 2 years. We crossed over 2 billion in traded volume, which is extremely exciting. Our users are creating literally tens of thousands of strategies every month. So we're seeing an incredible amount of traction around it right now.
Oh man, that's so exciting, and congratulations. It's definitely not easy to innovate in the space and to build you're getting the proof is in the numbers. You said over 2 billion. Did you say in transactions?
So in terms of monthly transactions, it really varies, but in terms of strategies created per month, it's at over 30,000 strategies per month created. So that's a user literally building an algorithmic trading strategy and launching it.
Man, that's so significant. What is some of the feedback that you receive from the platform overall, whether it be from the users or kind of the community in general?
Mm-hmm. People want more help. Our user base consists of two types of users: the relative beginners and the more advanced traders. Now, the more advanced traders, they want more, more power, more toys to play with, more indicators, more exchanges, more kind of ways to adjust the logic and so on. The beginners want more ready-made stuff. They want strategies that have been already tested by us, built by us, so that they can just they can just put in money into them and set it and forget it. One way we are addressing this is by building a marketplace. So basically that will allow the more advanced creators to build strategies which then they can make available to the more beginner level users. So that will help both sides, for example. But it's quite interesting to see how the market evolves. In every product, you have kind of the builders and the consumers, and we're definitely seeing that.
That's awesome. It's awesome, and the Coinrule journey, as you've explained it, is really exciting, and I know you have much planned on the horizon. So I just have to ask. I mean, what's next? What's next for Coinrule? Like, what kind of plans do you have coming ahead?
Yeah, we have lots of features coming. I mean, kind of on the more tactical level, obviously, some of the trading improvements that I was saying that some of the more advanced users are asking for. On the more kind of, let's say, big level, so things like the marketplace and the backtesting solution that will allow users to test their strategies on historical data. But also on the medium to long term, we'll be venturing out into stocks and also decentralized finance. So basically allow users to build automated trading strategies, not just for cryptocurrencies on platforms like Binance or Coinbase Pro, but also on maybe Interactive Broker, maybe Toro, maybe Uniswap and 1inch and so on. So kind of really to be a layer of automation across any platform and any asset class.
And maybe speak on for a moment, and for those that have never that aren't quite as familiar with it, but I know a lot of our audience is, but maybe some of them have never traded and or thought about the idea of using automated bots or anything of that nature. Can you maybe just speak on that and just that? I guess it's always kind of the elephant in the room, thinking like, okay, are the hedge funds creating all of this versus versus what can the investor do? Because I see you're really with your platform overall, what you're doing is you're making it really accessible so that many can actually participate.
Yeah. So in today's world, right now, about 70-80% of financial flows are directed by algorithmic hedge funds. And at the same time, we have this retail trading revolution that started, in the last 3, 4, 5 years with the rise of Robinhood, the rise of platforms like eToro. You have more and more people actually looking to trade and invest. Now, those normal people that are getting into it are gradually, they are learning, right? They are progressing.
Yeah.
And they're realizing, hang on, we need tools to actually be able to compete in this market. And you just can't, in a market that's 24/7 up and running, you just can't sit there manually looking at a chart and buying and selling. That just doesn't work anymore. So today we talk about algorithmic trading as, as a tool, as some extra element, but in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, there will be no other trading but algorithmic trading. People will just be building strategies rather than just pressing buy and sell. And that is part of the revolution that we are at the forefront of.
Yeah, and I feel like people shouldn't necessarily be scared of that. That's just as you use the word evolution, because if you think about where trading just in general started in stock, I mean, people holding up papers, right, and sales slips for 100 years or something, right? And so now the idea of being able to even push that button to buy or sell was like really scary at one point. Now it's common, right? So I feel like in a certain amount of time, I don't know what the time's going to be, but exactly what you said, when that happens, and people are talking more so about their strategy and how that's executed, it's going to be just the natural evolution, right?
Yeah, exactly. Natural evolution. And apart from that, people are looking for ways to earn additional income. So as a matter of fact, more people are going to be finding their way into investing and trading and things like that. And those people will have actually the same tools to use for their trading and investing as professional investors. Like the same way, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as a robo-advisor. There weren't ETFs. Normal people did not have access to those type of investment opportunities. But gradually, with technological progress, these opportunities were being made available to normal people. It's the same as happening with these more advanced tools, that we will get to the point where just normal investors already today are building up more understanding and education and figuring out how to use them to their advantage. And for us as a company, the challenge is to make it as easy as possible and also fun and educational, so that people, actually have the motivation to stick with us and stick on that learning journey.
Awesome. Well, Oleg, it's been great having you on the show today and learning more about Coinrule and your background and really the success in this and giving many different investors and traders out there an opportunity, and just by creating this amazing platform. So that being said, if somebody is listening to this or watching this and they want to learn more about Coinrule, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so the easiest way to find us is on coinrule.com. It's that COINRULE, coinrule.com. You can also find us on Twitter at CoinruleHHQ. And if you're interested to get in touch with me personally, you can also find me on Twitter at @OGiberstein.
Fantastic. And we'll put all that information in the show notes so that the audience can just click on the show notes and head right on over and check you out. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time engaging with Mission Matters or listening to one of our episodes, we're all about bringing on entrepreneurs and executives and experts and having them share, why they do what they do, like how they do it and why it's important to the marketplace. If that's the type of content or information that's interesting to you, we welcome you to hit that subscribe button because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Oleg, really, it has been a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Adam.